Welcome back to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video we will be doing a solid geometry question altogether. I will be giving you guidance on how to start a solid geometry question. Okay, so focusing on this grade 10 question, we are given the front view of an equilateral pentagonal prism. The base side length of an equilateral pentagonal prism is 30 millimeters. Okay, so it means one side length of our pentagonal prism is 30 millimeters. Use point S as the start position. Okay, draw to scale 1:1 the following views of the solid. So before we can draw our views, and then we know that we are given a front view, we must know that our solid geometry falls under first angle orthographic projection. Okay, so we must use our hashtag method so that we know that where will our front view be, where is going to be our top, and this is going to our left, also our right view. Okay, and then before we start, they must say you must draw the given front view, which is this one. We must draw a top view. It means it will be under our front view, and the right view, okay, our right view will be on our left. Do you understand? And then you must know that planing is essential. Planing is essential. We must use these notes, ladies and gentlemen. Planing is very important. In solid geometry, if you are struggling to plan, you won't get anywhere with your drawing. Okay. You must use point S as the start position on the diagram sheet. Show all construction lines and show all hidden detail lines. Okay. So to start with our drawing, we are seeing that this is the side length of our pentagonal prism, and our pentagonal prism on our front view start on this line here. Okay, and then it is standing at an angle of 30 degrees. This is the base from one pentagon on the side and to the other pentagon, which is 36. So to start with, since now that you know our side length of our pentagonal prism, we can draw our auxiliary view where here at the, let's start here. And then we measure our 30 degrees, 30 millimeters on our auxiliary view. Okay, so here will be our point A and B. Right, I hope you all can see. This is our A and our B, and the distance between A and B is 30 millimeters. So because we are dealing with pentagon, we'll have to say 360 divided by number of sides, which is 5. So this can give us 72 degrees. Alright, so the 72-degree angle, it is the one that we are going to work out from point A and point B. Okay, so starting at point A here with our 0 here, and then we are going to look for 72. Here's our 70, 71, 72. You see, make sure that when you are dealing with angles from auxiliary view, you know where to find your angle. Okay, because I will find many students finding their 72 between 70 and 60 degrees, which is incorrect. Okay, so from point B, this is our 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72. Okay, here's our 72, and then with that 72-degree angle, we connect to point B. Because they said one side length of our pentagonal prism is 30, so I can now come and use my compass. Set it to measurement 30. Okay, and then on the line that I constructed, I have my arc. Also on the A side, I have my arc. I'm still using the 30 millimeter length. Okay, and then now I have my auxiliary view. Okay, you can see now. This is my auxiliary view. Then I can name it auxiliary. Alright, and then with this auxiliary, I can see that my pentagon, this base from here to here, it is from A to B. I need a distance from this outer point here to my point A, which is from this line to this line. So where will I get that measurement? So parallel to our line segment AB, perpendicular to our 45 set square, construct a vertical line, and we extend our line AB so that we can get a distance from this corner to this point A. Okay, 0, that is 9 millimeters. So we now know that from here point S to here it will be 9. Okay, then also from here to that side you need to check. So distance from B, which is B, will be here, and then here will be A. Okay, from B to here it is also 9. Right, so now we take we are noting our nodes. We must use point S as the start position. Okay, and then they say the lines that are going to the right are at an angle of 60, and then the opposite angle of 60 will be 30 degrees. It means lines going to our left, they will be at an angle of 30. So it means most of the time I am going to use my 30 by 60 set square. Okay, so from starting position S, angle 60, and starting position S to my left, I'm using angle 30. Right, so I now know that from here, from one end to another end, it will be 30, 36. Here I'm marking my 36, and then parallel to this line, which is at an angle of 60, I can construct my line. All right, and I now know that from here to here it will be 9. Okay, so here I am coming to measure my 9, and then this will be my A. Then from A to B, I need to measure my 8. And also from B, I'm going to measure 9. From B, this is my 9. Okay, so parallel to this line at an angle of 30, I can construct my solid line here. I can construct my solid line here also at the end. And every time when we are dealing with solid geometry, ladies and gentlemen, we need to label our points from auxiliary view or from our top view. Okay, so if this is A, B, then it means also on the side we are going to have A and B. So let's finish labeling our auxiliary view. A, B, this will be C, D, and E. So it means we are going to have C, C. We are only short with one hidden detail. How can we get that hidden detail? Because from here to here is stage. We know that the center line will be on our half of it, which is 50. Okay, you just need to use a logical sense on that, ladies and gentlemen. Then you know that you use your hidden details. Okay, and if that said, you can just create your XY line. Because we are going to need where we are going to measure our points, we can simply extend these lines here. Okay, you can simply extend these lines. Okay, one thing that we need to be aware is that our E and E, I mean our D, this is our D and D, this one is E and E. Okay, E, E, A, A, D, D, B, B, C, and C. One thing that we need to be aware of is that our auxiliary view, it has an apex and it has a base A. Okay, so looking from our front view, you can see that D, which is our apex here, it is in hidden detail lines. Okay, so what is that meaning to us? It means that our apex should be near our XY line. This is our XY line for our auxiliary view. It means our point D should be near our XY line, and then our base should be far away from our XY line. Is that understood, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so now because we have already drawn our auxiliary view, you can put this auxiliary view inside a box. So, and then we have our middle line here, which is one of our center lines. Okay, and then on line D, we can measure from D to our base at line segment AB. You can see, and then I can say I'm constructing a parallel line to my XY line 5 mm away, where I'm going to start my auxiliary view. It means I'm going to start here. So this will be my point D. So now taking a distance from my auxiliary view here, from point D to my base, which is my line segment AB, I'm coming at point B. I am marking off my line segment AB. And then that one should also be parallel to my XY line. Okay. So I now know that this is my A and B. Okay. And this is my point D. Okay. And then from D to this outer line, it will be from D to this outer line of E. Okay. And then here we have the one of C. So from here to here, it is this measurement. Then I just need a measurement from here to my point E. Okay, from the top to my point E, from my auxiliary view, I'll be measuring from here 15, 16, 17, 18. So it will be 18 mm from this line construction parallel to XY to point E. Here's my 18. So it will be my point E. So parallel to my XY line, on that other side, it will be my point C. So just like that, you have your point E, and this is your point C. Then the last one will be your point D. Okay, so now we are done with our auxiliary view. So now you can see that we have two auxiliary views. What does that mean? It means that we used our planing skills to plan out our drawing so that we can get where we are now. Okay, so we are done with the given front view. We are short with the top view and the right view. So now, because we are short with a top view and a right view, we now know that we have to create an XY line 5 mm or 10 mm away from our front view. Yeah? So this will be our X and Y line. Okay, perpendicular to that X and Y line on this side, 5 mm, 10 mm away. Okay, This will be our y and x. Okay, because now we are required to construct from our front view to our right view, we need to construct on each and every point or every corner. This is your D. You guys will see the importance of labeling your solids, because labeling will help you to, this will help you to get your required views, which is your right view and your top view. Okay, and remember we started labeling from our auxiliary view, and auxiliary view is the one that is going to help us to get our required views, since that we have labeled. Okay, since because we have constructed going to the left on our right view, we also need to construct coming downwards, okay, on our top view. Then this one is for C. Okay, I am constructing on each and every corner, meaning I am going to have 20 construction lines in total. No, yeah, I'm going to have 20, which is 1 2 3 4 5 coming to the side, 1 2 3 4 5 coming to this side, and then 5 going to that side, 5 going to that side. It is 20 construction lines in total. If you don't have 20 construction lines, just know that you are doing something wrong. Okay, so the method that we are going to use to measure our auxiliary view is measuring from auxiliary. You skip the front view and then you place the measurement on the required view. Okay, you measure, you skip, you measure. Okay, so I am going to show you how are we doing that method. We measure from our auxiliary view. Let's start at point D. Okay, starting at point D, so we are measuring from our auxiliary view, standing on our XY line from XY to point D, right? XY, D, and then we are going to look for construction line D, which is here. This is D, and then you also have D on the side. Okay, so this is going to be our D, and then we have our D here. Okay, so if this is my D, and then this is my D, and then also this will be my D. Okay, every time when you get your point, you need to label. Okay, on our right, this is our D, and then also here it will be our D. So you have D and D. We have a D, we have a D, we have a D, we have a D. Are you okay? And then now we are going to measure from XY line to our point C. Okay, XY line, point C, XY line, point C. Then you come and look for construction line, line C. Okay, this is construction line C, the one that is labeled C, and then also this one that is labeled C. Okay, and then we have C and C, and because C and E are the same distance away from XY line, I can just simply look for construction line E and then have my point E here, also here. Okay, on this side I am looking for construction line E. Here it is, also here, E and E. Where's my construction line C? My construction line C is here, and then also here. So I have my C and my C. So the last 2 points, it will be from my XY line to point B, And then you can see that from XY line to point B, it will be the same distance away with from XY line to point A. Okay, so come here to look for construction line B and then also construction line A. Okay, because they are the same distance away, I can just quickly have my points. Then this is B, and then this one will be A. Then also on this side, I'm looking for construction line A, B, B. So it will be B, A, and A. So now let us start with our top view. Okay, coming from the top, which is from the side, looking at this front view. Remember, this is a prism. It means we have a pentagon on this side and also a pentagon on this side. Okay, so looking from the top, coming from the side, we are going to see this line C to C. Do you agree? Okay, so if we can see this line C to C, we can use our solid line. Okay, and because coming from this side, this whole pentagon will be visible, we can use our solid line to connect our pentagon from this point C to this latest point A. Okay, including all these other points inside, labeling C and labeling E. These are inside, so we can include those three. So D, this need to go to B, A, E, and D. So now this one at the back, coming from this side at the top, it will be in hidden detail lines. So we now know that between C and E on the side, between C and E, all these other points inside should be in what? Hidden detail lines. But remember one thing, that the outer lines in our solid geometry needs to be always visible. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, we know that this will be in hidden detail line. Okay, but because it is an outer line, it needs to be in solid line. Also from B to C. Okay, which is from B to C, it will be from here to here. Okay, so we are going to see that line coming from the top. From C to D, which is from C to D, it will be a solid line, and also from D to D, because coming from the top, we are going to see that line. Okay, and then from A to E, it will be in hidden detail lines. From A to E, we are not going to see that line, and also from E to D, and also from our E to E. Do we get it, ladies and gentlemen? And now, the same thing that we did for our top view, we need to also do it on our right view. Let's assume that we are viewing our front view coming from the right. Okay, so coming from the right, you know that this is a pentagon and this is a pentagon, and this one on this side is going to be in hidden details. Why? Because coming from this side, this one is on the front, and since this one is on the front, is going to be in solid lines. So from this C, which is this one, to this E, including all these three others inside, they are going to be in solid lines. So this is C, and then this one also D, B, and A. So this is going to be in solid line. You guys need to know and always assume how you are viewing your front view so that you can get your required views, and where to use your solid lines and your hidden details. Okay, and then coming from this side, we are going to see from point D to point D, D to D, also C to C, remembering that all our outer lines needs to be in solid lines. Okay, and then from this C to this E, remember the three ones inside, they have to be in hidden detail lines. So this one here is going to be in hidden detail, and then including also this A, which is this one here. You see, and then also from E to E, because coming from this side, check E to E, coming from this side we have a full pentagon, which is a solid one. It makes this line E and E to be hidden detail. Okay, and with this done, you need to also be done with your question. All right, so thank you for taking your time to watch this whole question. The following will be a question of solid geometry also, but thank you for taking time to watch this video, and please share it with your grade 10 friends and everyone who you think might need this video.